And not by someone else, but the Honourable Marion Street.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That, unfortunately, that meticulously read speech from the member who's just resumed her seat is not sufficient to gain favour amongst the farming community with the National Party anymore. The farming community are so out of sorts with the National Party because of the Crayfar farm sales. Well, if that party over there doesn't know about it, then they should do some research of their own, because it's blindingly obvious to the rest of us. Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Controller and Auditor General released the results of the 2010-2011 audits of district health boards, and that's what I want to turn my attention to today. One of the points that the Auditor General made in her report was that in 2010-2011, $417.3 million of new money was given to the district health boards. $417.3 million, and that was up on the 09-10 year. The fact that in 2011-2012, as the Minister just said in the House last week, that the district health boards got $350 million worth of new money, 350 as opposed to the 417 the year before, indicates this government's trajectory in the health sector. And that is a trajectory that presumes cuts. And what we are seeing now, Mr. Speaker, are the inevitable results of pushing down of the funding that goes to the district health boards. As the district health boards get screwed down tighter and tighter with their budgetary constraints, then they are going to be cutting into frontline and clinical services. And the more the Minister protests about that, the more one can see that it is apparent that that is going to be the upshot of the budget. If we have a look, Mr. Speaker, it's clear from figures that have been released already, and also what is widely known out in the DHB sector, Mr. Speaker, that the total new money for the health budget coming up in the budget to be released in May is somewhere between 320 and 350 million. Total new money in the health vote. Total new money. In the Auditor General's report, she makes it very clear that 75% of vote health goes to the district health boards. 75%. So if we are even generous and say that perhaps the new money that's coming out of the budget this year in vote health is going to be $350 million, then 70% of that is $262.5 million. So we have $417 million in the 10-11 year, $350 million new money to DHBs in the 11-12 year, and now they are staring down the barrel of $262 million in the 12-13 year. Mr. Speaker, this progressive slashing of the health budget is eating into clinical positions. If we have a look at some of the DHBs who have reported recently that they are having difficulties, we know that Waikato DHB is looking to save $25 million in the next financial year. $25 million. And they know that it is going to come out of frontline clinical services. One of the things that the Minister is requiring of the DHBs next year, Mr. Speaker, is that the DHBs absorb KiwiSaver. Instead of that being taken out of the Crown account, which it has been until this coming year, financial year, the DHBs are going to have to absorb that. In the case of Waikato DHB alone, that is a $3.2 million impost. Add on to that minimal salary increases, as we have just seen the New Zealand Nurses Organisation sign up to, And what we are seeing is serious cuts that are bound to happen in clinical positions. This is the theme of this government in health, Mr. Speaker. Cuts, cuts and more cuts.
Chris Ockenvoll.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And let's stay with primary products, that essential growth feature of our economy. We have heard, Mr. Speaker,